For many of us out there, Lego budgets are pretty tight these days. That's why it's always important that we can get the best deal we possibly can on Lego sets. And a couple of times each year, there's a moment where things align and we get really interesting gifts with purchase and additional deals at the same time. And in fact, we have not one, but two of those events coming up in the next 3 or 4 weeks. That's right, we've got some really interesting Lego deals and gifts with purchase coming out over the next couple of weeks. So we're here to break all of that down. But before we get into those deals, I do want to highlight a couple of gifts with purchase that are currently available right now at Lego stores and lego.com. The first is the Hot Rod car. This is a small gift with purchase available for spends of $40 US on particular themes. Lego City, Lego Speed Champions, and Lego Technic. So if you buy $40 in any of those themes, you will get this hot rod. Now, that particular gift with purchase doesn't move the needle a lot for me and probably not for a whole lot of you. But the next gift with purchase that is currently available between now and June 18th, and that's the same with the hot rod, up through June 18th. This one is the Disney Classic Animation Scenes, and this is a really fun gift with purchase. In fact, if you want to check out our review that we did last year on it when it first came out, just click up here. I'll have that link there. But it's a very fun gift with purchase and comes with a nice minifig. So this one is available for a $130 spend threshold on any theme, again, up through June 18th. Now, this is a gift with purchase that typically runs for about $25 US on the secondary market, according to the 6-month sales average on Bricklink. So if you're looking to pick that one up and you don't want to spend $130 US for general Lego, you can find that on the secondary market at a reasonable price. But of course, these two gifts with purchase really are just a precursor to what's beginning on this upcoming Friday, June 19th. And from the June 19th to June 29th, we've got a window where there are some really interesting deals. The first is we do have double points available for every single set. That's right, I want to say again, every set. This is not yet confirmed by Lego, but these are rumors that are very, very strong and credible and match what we saw last year for the June event. So last June we had a period of time when you had double points on every single Lego set at the store and on lego.com. So it's an opportunity for you to maybe pick up some of those sets that you haven't bought yet. You're waiting for the right deal, and double points might help you get there. And of course, so too might that gift with purchase. In this particular case, we are talking about the Da Vinci Tribute. This was just announced by Lego with the official images and everything. I gotta be honest with you, this is really intriguing for a few reasons. The first is, of course, we do get a Da Vinci minifig. Now, this minifig, if you look closely, looks to be nearly identical to the one that came in the Da Vinci flying machine, but there is one difference, and that is instead of having the white hairpiece, he's got the black hat. So that is a slight difference. I don't know if that's going to be a meaningful difference for collectors or fans or what that's going to do for the price on the secondary market, but it is at least another way to get the Da Vinci minifig. We don't have the Da Vinci flying machine, so this might be an opportunity for us to get that minifig, and I think he looks pretty good overall. Now, the second interesting aspect are the accessories. If you take a look at this set, I love some of these gifts with purchase that have life in them, and some of these tribute sets do a great job of providing nice accessories. That goes to the pair that we see sitting there, the geode, or even the printed elements, and that includes the ornithopter plans, the name plaque, and point number 3 that I think is interesting, yes, indeed, the printed Mona Lisa 2x3 tile. I think this is really fun as a piece. It looks really good. I actually think it looks better than the artwork set that cost like $100. That one was always just a little odd to me. But this is printed. It's got that Mona Lisa in minifig form. And again, based on the images Lego released and some other assessments I've seen from this, it looks to be printed. Of course, we hope to get this and review it. So hopefully we'll be able to bring that to you shortly after it is released. But those 3 aspects to the set, I think, make it very appealing to people beyond just those who are interested in Renaissance art and inventing and science and those kinds of things. Now, Another point to the Da Vinci tribute set. I went back and looked at a number of the prior tribute sets, like Galileo Galilei, the Jules Verne, last year's Jane Austen's books. These gifts with purchase tend to run about $35 to $40 on the secondary market. So these aren't as cheap as the Disney classic animation scenes on the secondary market, but of course the threshold may not be as low either. From what I'm hearing, for this threshold is going to be a $150 spend on any theme for that Da Vinci tribute set. So a little bit higher in terms of the threshold, also a little bit higher in terms of the price on the secondary market, which makes sense. Higher price for the threshold will reduce supply on the secondary market at least a little bit, enough that maybe that price goes up. So that's something to look forward to if you are interested in the Da Vinci gift with purchase or double points. But of course, there's more, right? You thought, oh yeah, there's a great deal coming up this weekend. Yes, but in July, beginning on July 7th, Lego is doing something that it only does twice each year, July and November. And that is what they call Insider Days. These tend to correspond with Amazon Prime Days as a way to entice people to spend their money at Lego.com and Lego stores instead of on Amazon. But of course, as consumers, that does help us get some really interesting deals. And there probably will be some fascinating deals in the July Insider Days. If we take a look at last year's Insider Days in July, we saw that there were a number of sets that were discounted for double points, some that had quadruple insider points, and then other sets that had a certain percentage off the normal retail price. So there are a variety of sets that are going to be available for purchase at various types of discounts, but it's not going to be every single set. Last year, not every set was double points. There were only a small grouping of sets. There were an additional grouping of sets that were 4 times the insider's points. And there were a separate group that were discounted 10, 15, 20, maybe even 30%. Now, these deals will vary by country. There typically are some sets that are in common across the different countries and regions of the world, but you will want to make sure that you check Lego.com and of course check out our channel when they announce these or when we know the list of sets that are going to be discounted, because we'll walk through all of that. So by the way, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get more information on all those deals. Now, to give you a little bit of context for what we might see in July, I went back and looked at last year's discounts, and there were some really interesting sets that I know a lot of adults were interested in, like the Daily Bugle, the large modular style version, the Viking Village, the Blacktron Renegade, and a variety of other sets, the Milky Way Galaxy artwork, and even some Animal Crossing sets, friend sets like the Castle Bed and Breakfast, and others. These were all discounted beyond just double or quadruple points, so 20, 30% off or so. So I would definitely take a look at sets that are on your wish list to see if they might line up with the types of sets we would see for Insider Days. Now, there's more, right? Because with Insider Days, it's not just about the discounts, it's also about the gift with purchase. Last year, we saw the African Safari gift with purchase was part of the 4 sets that came out that were these different dioramas. This year, though, we are getting a gift with purchase that a lot of fans have been waiting for quite some time, because it won an nostalgia contest for ideas to be a gift with purchase. And you know where this is going. It is the Sea Serpent. This is a remake of an early 1990s castle set. It's a boat that has a few soldiers in it. And this remake is, I think, going to be a lot interesting to a lot of fans. This one is scheduled to be released as the gift with purchase for Insider's Day or week or whatever it is in July. And so that is definitely going to entice a lot of people to maybe save their money from June and spend it in July instead. We also don't know the spend threshold for the Sea Serpent. However, last year's African Safari diorama spend threshold was $150 US, I think it was 150 euro and 135 British pounds. So I would anticipate that being similar for the Sea Serpent as we head into July. But again, those details are yet to be determined. So I think one of the questions that people are going to ask, and I want to get it out of the way now, is how do you know which sale opportunity to take advantage of? Should you go get sets in June for double points, or should you wait until July for insider days? Well, I think it depends on a couple of things. The first thing I would say is it depends on which gift with purchase entices you more. If you like the Da Vinci Tribute gift with purchase, we have the official images of that, then I would definitely go for June if you like that more than the Sea Serpent. If you're not big into castle or neoclassic castle or nostalgia type things, then the Da Vinci Tribute is going to be good. And again, it's got a pretty good resale value if you're looking to offset some of your expenditures based on selling the gift with purchase. However, if you like castle, if you like the nostalgia type sets, if you like just boats, instead of a diorama, then the Sea Serpent would definitely be for you. Now, the second thing this depends on is going to be which sets are on your wish list. If you're like us, there's probably a variety of lists you might have. We have ours on brickset.com. We can take a look at all the sets on our wish list. And usually what you see for Insider Days are sets that are going to be cleared out of LEGO's inventory. So they mark them down, or they put double points or quadruple points on them. They tend to be sets that were released in prior calendar years. So if your wish list is comprised mainly of sets from this year, 2026, the June releases, maybe the March releases, something from January, I wouldn't bank on getting those on a discount during Insider Days in July, because LEGO doesn't tend to, right? If you look at last year's sets, I think really the only one that was released in 2025 for the Insider Days 2025 was the Blacktron Renegade. So I wouldn't bank on you getting 2026 sets for a discount, double points or quadruple points in July Insider Days. So that might mean you might want to take advantage of the June double points, because it's going to be double points on every single set. Of course, it has to also be in stock for you to get it. I was taking a look at Minas Tirith earlier today, and that one is temporarily out of stock. So if you were to go purchase it on lego.com, you wouldn't be able to take advantage of insider points if the same situation holds for June or July. However, you can go to stores. The stores will also have these deals and gifts with purchase. I did check our 2 Northeast Ohio LEGO stores. They do have Minas Tirith available in stock at both of them. So you might be able to find some of those sets that have sold well in LEGO stores as opposed to online. So I think your strategy is going to depend on your wish list and which gift with purchase you like more. And of course, it's always going to depend on your available funds, because yeah, June was a pretty expensive month for us with getting Minas Tirith. And if you purchased anything in June, you might be running into the same situation, at least earlier this month. So that is the broad picture of LEGO deals coming up in the next couple of months. We, of course, are going to keep tabs on that July Insider Days and all of the new releases for July. So you want to make sure you stay tuned for that. By the way, in the comments below, let me know which gift with purchase you like better, the Da Vinci Tribute or the Sea Serpent. I'm curious to know what you all think. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate all the support you've given us recently and over the last few months. It means a lot to us. Thank you again for watching, and always remember to keep building together.